Okay, I look okay. Okay, I'm on live. We're recording. Okay, hello 514. We are ready for class. That's enough.
And well, like, you have to read
okay.
the comments to be able to tell, like, who's just bigger and who's like,
yes.
Whatever. So, like, you can get the general consensus, like, okay, like, I'm this, who can I get pretty much all day. Like, I can tell the, like, students who, like, they're like, this costs $200. Like, no, you're just kind of negative. Versus, like, this cost is really hard.
There's the webpage for all the activities.
Oh, the website for the class?
No, it's for our webpage. There was like another site that you showed us that we do like activities from. Like subject.
You mean when we're looking at the RSS or the gadgets or
Not the gadgets.
when we went to go find the web quest?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so what we did is we went to the WebQuest page and we said find WebQuest, and then it was this thing called QuestGuard. I guess that's just questgarden.com.
That's the one. Yeah, that's what I got from it.
Okay.
It was Quest Garden. It was
Yeah, I should have a direct link to that. I should put that in.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. How's everybody doing today? All right. We're getting almost end of March. Not that much more left. We've got spring break coming up. Not next week, 2 weeks. Right. And cool. So today we're trying to finish up our web pages, right? And so we have important. Hey, you're back. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
You want to tell them what you did?
My wife had our baby boy.
Congratulations. Cool. So that's why Jacob hasn't been here. Things going well?
Yeah.
You don't look too tired.
Hopefully, no more doctor visits for a while.
Oh yeah. Cool. All right. Well, great to have you back, and we'll get y'all caught up.
All right.
Have you been following along?
Kind of, yeah.
Somebody was on remotely a few weeks ago. I didn't even realize they were on. Right? Was that you?
I think so.
So we totally ignored you. Sorry about that. I should keep checking to see if anybody else is in the broadcast. Nobody's in right now, so we're all good to go. But mostly it's there for recording. But if people are online, I should pay attention and see if you can interact, because you can interact live remotely. It's pretty cool that way. So we don't even all need to be in the same room to be together. All right, so we've got our last part of the web pages today, and this is a really key part of this whole activity, is this idea about communication and collaboration and working on the web, using the web to be more collaborative. What does collaboration mean? Is it different than cooperation?
Yes.
What's the difference?
Collaboration.
Okay, produce something. What else?
What are you? Cooperation, you more so contribute, whereas collaboration is like a group effort.
Yeah, one way you might think about it that is if you're cooperating, then like, okay, each person will take part of a task, right? So and then you're gonna bring them together, but you're not really working together. You're working in parallel, right? Whereas collaboration, you're working together. You're trying to communicate with each other, work together to produce one thing at the same time, right? And not necessarily at the same time. It can be at different times, things like that. What is Web 2.0? That's a term from like 5 years, maybe even 10 years ago. You might not even remember when Web 2. What do you think that means?
Web 2.0 is when you can interact and do things like leave comments and have discussion.
Exactly. So in the old days, I don't know if you remember the old days of the internet. Hey, you're early. Awesome. In the old days of the internet, everything was just there. You could see it, you could watch the videos, you could read about things, but you couldn't really do that much, right? And then we started to get web pages that were interactive. Like, what's an example? What's an interactive web page? Facebook, totally. Twitter, things like that. And like the really early ones were things like Wikipedia and YouTube, right? YouTube was a big deal, right? Anybody can post a video. That's like unheard of, and really hard to do. Like YouTube still doesn't have very many competitors because you have to have these giant servers to take all these videos, and also keep bad videos off your servers. That's another important part of it. So YouTube was a really big deal when that first came out, and anybody could post any movie, almost, right? And so that was a huge difference. All of a sudden, people like Justin Bieber show up, right? But how does that happen? How did he get famous? Magic. Yeah, he was posting these videos of himself singing on YouTube, and people liked it, and he got like millions of likes, right? Yeah, and then he got sucked into the whole music business, sure. But he didn't get started by being auditioning somewhere. He got started by posting a video someplace. And what do we call that when videos get real popular?
Viral.
Yeah, it gets viral, right? So this is something that we didn't even know what that meant before. We needed to invent new terms for it because we now have this ability for anybody to post things that anybody can see. And of course, now we've got Google Sites and we've got all these other things. What's Wikipedia?
Online dictionary.
An online dictionary. That sounds so boring.
Encyclopedia, yeah.
It's an encyclopedia. It's a dictionary. Is it important?
It's a good starting point.
It works when my students steal all the information from their essays.
They steal their information from their essays, exactly. What did we have before Wikipedia?
Encyclopedia.
Yeah, you had Britannica and then Carta, and you had all these encyclopedias. And you'd go and you'd find the stacks and you'd look up the letter of the thing that you wanted, or you might get fancy, you might have it on a CD-ROM, right? And then you could search it. That was pretty cool. Does anybody know how Wikipedia got made? Well, first of all, what is Wikipedia? How does it work? Let's look something up here. Give me a topic.
CSUN.
CSUN. Oh, all right. Look up, see what it says for CSUN. All right. Oh, look at there. Cal State University Research. Okay. So who wrote this? Anybody could write it, right? Could you write it?
Yeah.
Could we write it right now? Yeah. There's this edit button right here. I can edit any page on Wikipedia. Right? There it is. Now I can start editing. That's kind of bizarre, right? It's an encyclopedia that I can just type whatever I want. People did not think this would work. People heard the idea of Wikipedia. They thought, even the people that created it thought, there's no way this is going to work, right? In fact, so Jimmy Wales is the guy who started Wikipedia. He had made a lot of money on something, I forget, and he just decided, okay, I want to create the world's greatest encyclopedia. So he did what probably anyone would do. He hired a bunch of smart people and said, you write it. And so meanwhile, while the smart people were working, right, he said, oh, well, I've heard of this thing called a wiki. Now, wiki had been, anyone know what wiki means? It's a Hawaiian word. We know they're Hawaiian. I think you say wiki wiki. It means like hurry up. So it means basically be fast, right? Speed up. And so people had invented this thing called a wiki, which is kind of like Google Sites. It was a way to put up a website pretty quickly. It had all this I don't know if you can see some of the code here. It's not HTML code. It has its own code for putting just text and pictures up on the screen. And it was pretty easy. And people were using it for things like, I want to make like a guide to how to use some software program. So I'm building my guide and I'm putting it up on the web, and lots of people can work together, and so it's pretty useful. And so he said, okay, I've got all these experts building my encyclopedia over here. That's going to be called the Jimmy Walesopedia or whatever it was going to be. And then he had this, well, what if we just have a wiki and we let people write their own encyclopedia? Wouldn't that be fun, right? And that was how Wikipedia got started. So they called this thing Wikipedia. It was the side project of the big encyclopedia project. And of course, you all know what happened. The encyclopedia project never went anywhere. All the smart people kept fighting with each other, and they could never decide what to write. And the Wikipedia completely takes off. And why does Wikipedia take off? So how does this work? If anyone can edit it, what do you think? They do have some people that monitor. They're all volunteers. There are some people that have sort of superpowers, but essentially it gets monitored because the people that bother to edit it, they want it to be good, right? So they make it better, and then somebody else comes along and makes it a little bit better. It's the idea, we call this crowdsourcing, right? Lots of people know a little bit, and if they all add their knowledge, then you get something really good. And that's how it started. It's not necessarily how it works today, because now there are people professionally paid to edit Wikipedia, not by Wikipedia, but by places like Cal State Northridge. There's probably somebody here at Northridge whose job is to monitor the site and make sure it says what they want it to say. But that doesn't stop other people from going in and writing about it. And every now and then you'll get into these editing wars. I remember a few years ago, I got in this editing war because they were putting a train in our neighborhood, and the people in the neighborhood wanted the train to go underground, and other people said, oh, you're just a bunch of NIMBYs. And so there was this web page about the train, and we would just go back and forth, and they would edit this and we'd edit that, and it got really boring. And eventually we just decided to forget it. And so what has to happen is you have to decide, okay, we can agree on this statement, and we can agree on this statement, and then we'll just delete everything else. And so you end up with kind of what everybody's sort of the consensus view that everybody can stand. Otherwise, then you just get into these editing wars that go on forever. And a few of the pages do have these sort of endless editing wars. Any page that has anything to do with something like abortion or some really controversial topic, they've pretty much locked the page and said nobody else can edit because it's just an editing war. But for most pages, anybody can go in at any time and edit. And so, like, if every time some major news event happens, it's up on Wikipedia before anything else because somebody's like, oh, I want to be the person who writes that. And so they go in and they start editing the page. It's a really, you've all been on Wikipedia, right? When you search for something, the first thing that comes up almost always is the Wikipedia link because everybody uses it and everybody links to it. And for the most part, it's pretty good, right? Is it perfect? No, because anybody can edit it. So there can be crazy things on there. And if it's not a very popular page and people aren't paying attention to it, like mistakes can stay there for a long time. A popular page probably is going to get fixed before too long. But I think that's actually really good. There's this whole controversy, like, should you let your students look at Wikipedia? Yeah, like you're going to stop them. Of course they're going to look at Wikipedia, right? But is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? I think it's a good thing. I really like the fact that you don't trust it, right? That you have this site with all this information, but you're skeptical about it, right? So that's the way we ought to treat the whole internet.
I have like a Wikipedia spiel that I get like every semester.
Cool.
But it's how I like teach them about sources and research. So I'm like, sure, if you want to go off Wikipedia, you have to go down to like the names of sources and look up each source. But that's the only reason. But I agree that we shouldn't trust.
Yeah, exactly. So not everybody scrolls to the bottom of a Wikipedia page. And if you do scroll to the bottom, you get to find, hopefully, a bunch of references of actual good sources, which ought to be where everything is. And there's certain tags you'll see, like if somebody spots something that should have a link and it doesn't, you can put a little tag on it. That's a note that says, please edit this page and add the appropriate reference here, or something like that. There's also, on all the Wikipedia pages, there's a discussion page. Where is it? Oh, the talk page. And that's where the people who are doing the editing can talk about what's on the page. Like, hey, should we include it? So I haven't ever looked at this, but it looks like calling the earthquake trivial. Do you think that's the right word to use? I don't know. What do you think? And so there's all these kind of discussions. There's a set of rules on Wikipedia that you're supposed to follow, a set of editing guidelines. What are you allowed to post? What are you not allowed to post? And if someone breaks the rules, what happens? Somebody else edits them, right? or they flag it and say, this is broken the rules.
Stop adding yourself to the notable. I'm not.
See, that's good. That's a good comment. So yeah, yeah, these discussion pages sometimes can be really fun. All right, cool. Anyway, so we're looking at the Wikipedia page for CSUN and how it works. Cool. So again, this is an example of that we call the Web 2.0. So now we have a web that can be contributed by lots of people, right? Now, of course, when this first came out, educators like me said, "Oh, well, this is great. We'll do this in education, and so we'll get our students to make their own encyclopedia, or not the encyclopedia, but they can make their own, study guide, stuff like that." That kind of works. All right. Here's the problem with that: people on Wikipedia are really opinionated and don't mind editing your words, and they will delete your stuff if they think it's wrong. People in a regular class don't do that. That's like normal behavior, right? So what we found is that when we asked students like yourselves to edit each other's work, people were really reluctant. And so they'd say, well, I think this is wrong, but I'm just gonna write a little note on it. I'm not gonna actually edit it. And so everybody was just too polite. So you can't really do a Wikipedia in a class unless you do a lot of training, getting everybody to understand how to do it effectively. So yeah, but the idea is still good. The idea is that, hey, we can use collective knowledge to pool it and create some information and be creative rather than just a consumer of information. We can be a creator of information, and we can do this. Can you assign your students? Bless you. Can you assign your students to edit a Wikipedia page? Totally.
Well,
Absolutely. No, they're not.
some of them are.
Oh, a few of them are. Yeah.
What if they want to create their own page?
Absolutely. You can make a new page.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, my sister goes to like a women's college, and she's in their history program, and they were all tasked with creating a Wikipedia page for a female artist that doesn't exist yet on Wikipedia, and they had to get a minimum number of sources and all these things, because to create a page, you need to have.
So they need to find somebody who's not already on Wikipedia but ought to be.
Yes.
Yeah, nice. Very good.
Fictional authors.
Yeah, real ones.
So that's totally cool. And so that's something that's available. But again, and if you want to make your own kind of Wikipedia kind of thing, there is still, oh, that's not the website anymore. What's the wiki website? Oh, hopefully it's on my website. Is it on here? Wikispaces. That's what I'm trying to remember. Cool. All right. So Wikispaces is a company that will put up your own wiki. Now, again, a wiki is a lot like a Google Sites page. It's not terribly different. But if you want something that feels like Wikipedia and looks like Wikipedia, it's great. So you can set up a wiki for yourself with Wikispaces. You have to pay unless you're a teacher. So that's good for us, right? Free teacher pages. So that's really nice. And so you can get your own page, and let's see if we can look at a few of these. Collaborative writing, organizing your class. Where's some examples though? Let's see. What is Columbia up to? They're not giving any good examples. I guess you have to. Everybody has their own page. Anyway, but you can have your page be about anything you want, and you can set up your own wiki. And all that means is you're going to give all your students the ability to edit the page, and so they can edit their own thing. How else could you do that same idea? How else can you get lots of people to edit the same document? What are some other ways?
Drive.
Yeah, a Google document in Google Drive, right? We can set up a document. We can share it with our class. Have we talked about how to share things in Google? I think we have a little bit. Go to. All right. So let's say we wanted to do that, something like this. I wanted to share a document and have you all edit it. What are the steps there? What's the first thing I need to do? Create my document. So I go to Google Drive and I click on New right here. So let's just create a Google Doc here. All right. So I've got my document. That was easy enough. We all know how to do that. I'm going to title my document. All right. So I'm going to call my things to add to your web pages. And then we're going to let us all contribute to this. Right. So I want everybody to then put something on this page. So what are some things that I can put on my web page? Give me some categories of things.
Blog, calendar.
Oh, that's.
All right. Okay. All right. So if I put here, I'll just put an example here to get it started.
Your own photo.
What else? What other kinds of things can I add?
Lesson plans.
Assignments.
Mm-hmm.
Fish.
Grades.
Yeah. About the video.
Yeah,
The video. That's not yet.
Videos, good. I like that. What video did we watch a video?
No.
Yeah, not really. The Powers of 10 video is really good. So what I really should do is I should then put some links on this, right? Okay, so now if I want you all to add to my list, so I got a list started here. And if I want you all to add to it, what should I do? Share it. You're all good with this. So I go ahead and I click share. All right. And so there's 2 ways to share. What are the 2 ways?
Either share it from here by editing our email, or you give us the link.
Right. So I can either type your emails in here, or if I have a list of emails, I can copy and paste them. Or if I have your emails on my Gmail account and I have a group set up in my Gmail, I can just put the group in. And that's a way a lot of people like to do it. Is you just set everything up in your Gmail contacts and you make groups, and then you just put in your group, I want this to go to my 514 class, and boom, it shares it with everybody there. Or what's the other thing I can do if I don't put in the emails?
Get shareable links.
Exactly. I can do this get shareable link. That way I don't need your emails. What's the downside of the shareable link?
People actually typing it in probably.
Or
Yeah, people typing it in, although I'm not going to make you type it in.
Yeah.
That would be cruel.
anybody who puts in the link can edit it.
Yeah, they don't have to log in, right? So anybody can edit it and they can be anonymous. What's wrong with anonymous?
You don't know.
You don't know who's writing what, which is the problem because
Mischief.
people tend to get a little crazy when they're anonymous. Yeah, it's true. Oh, I do also have to, when I change so right now it says anyone with the link can view the page, and I want to make it so they can edit. So I have to do that change also. Everybody see that? All right, so I go ahead and click done. Now I've got this page set up so that anybody with a link can edit. So now I just need to do what? I need to get you that link.
Yeah, how do you do
Right?
that?
Yeah, so I need to get you the link. How can I get you the link? So I'm going to copy it right here.
Shorten it.
Should I make you write it on the screen? It's only 100 characters. 100.
The Google.gl.
Yeah, you just shorten it, right?
Yeah, so I can shorten it. How do I do that?
Go to Google.gl.
So I can go to the Google shortener. So GOO.gl is the Google shortener, or you can go to tinyurl or bit.ly or any of those other things. They all kind of do the same thing. And then I just paste it in here, and I can say shorten. And it gives me a nice shorter one. Still weird letters, but better than before. So that one's not too bad. Or what's the other alternative to doing the shortened URL? How else could I give it to you?
Paste it on the class.
Exactly. Put it on your class webpage. That's one reason we have web pages, is so we can distribute links. And so I can simply go up here and say, since this is Moodle, I've got to turn my editing on. Or if I was on a Google site, I would just go into the edit mode. And for this, I'm just going to say and so it just takes me about 30 seconds or so, and I can post that on my link. And what do you have to do to see it? Just refresh your page. Exactly right. All right. If you refresh your page, you will now see this link down at the bottom there. Link to a collaborative document. So what's our document? Things that, and you can see lots of people are there already.
What is it?
They found the link. So the link is now on the class webpage. If you refresh your class webpage, it's under today's list. Or you can type in the short link there. What was that? Capital N, R, D, capital Z, capital K, capital Y. You want to do that one instead? Be anonymous. Yeah, either way, you're going to be anonymous, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and add to this. You can see people are on there already. All right, that's great. What are some other resources or links that we can add on our page, or other types of pages we could add, or the gadgets that we like? Pictures. Oh, I like it. Very good. See, this is my favorite part because I just get to stand here and all those people do work, and it looks really active, and I have to do hardly anything at all.
No, I did.
Are you logging in?
No, I
You
did.
clicked on the
I
live
clicked on
link.
this,
No,
yeah.
that's last week. That's
Oh.
last week.
No, right here, this thing.
Yeah, that's open. Yeah, that's all from last week.
There are some anonymous.
Oh, you have to refresh. There should be one more.
I should be-
I was thinking about it. Yeah.
Question,
Cool, yes. So people need a little guidance sometimes for this. That's why I made it the.
but it's showing up as anonymous. When you share it with us, like, it show our name.
If you're logged in, I can see right now, it says sign in.
Yeah,
Wait to refresh it.
added something.
It still shows me as the anonymous rhino. Even
Even
though I'm signed in as Google.
Oh.
No, I mean, it's kind of cool. Being the anonymous rhino, I'm not mad at it. Don't.
You all are much better behaved than this.
What else? Everybody's got everything on?
Oh my goodness, what else? I'm never gonna be that lucky.
Oh, I'm gonna add something.
We were I think that's someone just wrote llama. Ooh,
I don't know that.
Whoa! What happened?
Oh my god, yeah.
I did it. But this could happen, right? This could happen in your class. What happened?
You can't.
I just selected all and I hit delete. Right? That's terrible, right? I've ruined all this work, right? No, we haven't. Now I could hit the undo button, but let's say I didn't do it. Right? What else can I do? How do I get it back? Yeah, that will work, but we're gonna do it a different way. Let's say some other one else had done it. Then I can't do the undo button. What I do is I go up to File, and I say go to Revision History, right? And the revision history keeps a record of all the edits that were made on this page, right? And it's right now it says there's only 4 edits made by Anonymous and Brian Foley. That's not actually true. I can see the more detailed revisions. It says down at the bottom there, more detailed revisions, and then I can see, oh, there's even more stuff. So I'm going to go down to the most. That one looks pretty good. So it didn't get every last edit. It missed a few edits. And so what I can just say is, oh, restore this version. Oh. No, that didn't work. Let's try it again. All right, how about this one? No. All right. How about this one? Oh, I see. The crossed out part means it's deleted it. There we go. Oh. That's all right. We'll try this one. That wasn't the exact thing. All right, we're kind of back. We didn't get everything, so we lost a little bit. Sorry about that. All right, but you see the example of how it works, and this is part of the whole class management. When you're working with collaborative documents, you got to use different class management skills. You got to be aware of. It deleted again. Jeez. All right. All right. How about that one? Is it gonna stick? We'll see. Oh, someone's highlighting it. Oh, they didn't delete it. Okay. Cool. All right. So you get the idea. All right. What kinds of things could you do a collaborative doc about? Anything? Yeah, you can do anything. What? Give me some examples. When might you use this in a class? When do you want to get a bunch of ideas out really fast?
Project, like you're doing a project ideas for groups.
Like brainstorming projects? Like you want to do some brainstorming? Let's do some brainstorming on here. That's kind of what we're doing right now, right? We're just brainstorming things you could put on your website. Where else could you want to do that?
Tests.
What about a test?
Write what you think of the following and then share it to the class.
So like you're prepping for the tests. You wouldn't want to actually
Yeah,
do
like
the
analyzing
test.
something, like what stood out for you, what sentences stood out for you, what ideas you can take from that test that you read.
Oh, okay, so give someone a prompt and say, how would you answer this? You know, give us some thoughts. Yeah.
You watch a video and then what are your thoughts? Just put them up out there and discuss them. What would you say?
Cool.
I know like some schools have like those little like buzzer things you like ring in on the
Mm-hmm. Like for doing quiz games kind of thing.
Yeah, and if you don't have one of them.
Yeah, you could definitely do a quiz game with this, or you could also do that with the spreadsheet, like we've done before with the quick write, and put a question in and have everybody answer it. See who comes up first. Jen, did you have another one you want to?
Yeah, like okay, let's say you're doing something collaborative with different classroom that's across the country, and then they upload the photos so that they can see what each
Yeah,
other
do
look like.
pen pals.
Yeah.
Totally, you could do that. And so you could do, or you could do it internationally. Let's say you're
Yeah.
learning the language and you want to like get some native speakers. You get another class in a different country, and you speak with them. Yeah, we've got a student in the master's program who's doing that with Japan, setting up this whole sort of Facebook communication with Japan. Give me some more. We got a lot of language teachers in here. Language teachers. What could you do with it?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
What can you do with a collaborative document like this?
Oh.
We're brainstorming ideas about this.
So right now we're talking about using as a gadget, like the websites that have puzzles for vocabulary.
Mhm.
There's that website.
Oh, so that would be a gadget. But how about just the doc itself? What could you have your students do on this doc? I was thinking maybe like translate a paragraph, right? Each student can translate a sentence, and then you get the whole paragraph translated or something, right? A way for people to sort of work on things like that. I was just talking to students a few minutes ago, and she was complaining. Her supervising teacher really wants the students to do these reports on the planets. So teaching astronomy. She's like, oh, that's so elementary school. I don't really want to spend any time doing it. How long would it take you to have your students do a report on 9 planets on a collaborative document like this? You can get it done in 20 minutes. You go to Wikipedia, you get a couple of facts, you post it in a collaborative document. There you go. You got your 9 planets. How many planets? You got 8 now, right?
We got 9.
9. It used to be 9.
I thought they brought Pluto.
No, Pluto's still gone.
They were thinking about it. Yeah, there you go. They're thinking about bringing them back.
No, that's not happening.
It's probably never gonna happen.
No, because then if you bring Pluto back, you got to bring all the other dwarf planets back. Then you get like 15. Anyway, we're off
I
topic.
had to do
Uh, but yeah, so if you've got it, you want to get a bunch of facts out at a time. Let your students get to find the facts. You don't have to put it on a PowerPoint. Let them put it up, right? Get them to do the research and figure out where the things are. It's fun to see it happen so fast, and you get that thing, and they get the sense of how to do research in a modern age, right?
When they misbehave in a exercise like this.
Oh yes, right.
Because look at us, we're all post-grad and
Mm-hmm. We're mostly good, except for the ice cream.
I know it's funny.
That was my
what it's
apologies.
up, but like when you have a bunch of teenagers and there's many of them,
Right.
misbehaving, how do you address that?
So that's key problem. So that's one of the reasons you don't want to be anonymous, right? So the problem here is that when we go to the revision history and we see who wrote that ice cream line, right? It's all anonymous. But if instead of anonymous, I have all their email accounts, then I know exactly who wrote that, right? And I can say, oh, let's have a little chat about how we behave on a collaborative document. Now, that, of course, goes back to your basic class management. So what do you do when students are misbehaving in class, right? You don't have to invite them onto the next collaborative document. You do it without that person. They can't edit, right? So they just get to watch, something like that. But if you have their email accounts and you set it up that way, you get to see who all did what. Yeah.
I went to a middle school to observe, and I don't know what like program this was, but the teacher was able to see what all the other screens looked like.
Mm-hmm.
So like at any given moment, she could look and she could see like, oh, computer number 35, you need to get on task,
Mm-hmm.
and she can like look up and see. Who that
Yeah,
was.
I can do that here. It's something called remote desktop. I can actually look at all your computers. Unfortunately, most computer labs don't have that. So you have to have a really sharp computer person, like Anthony back here, who gets us all set up. But most computers, you wouldn't have that option. Let's see, how do I look at everybody at once? All right. Yeah, there's a way to do it. All right, I don't want to take too much time with that. But yeah, there's some good software to do it. There's a good way you can do that in Google though. It's not quite as fancy as being able to see everyone's actual screen. But if instead of doing a Google Doc, I do Google Slides, right? Have we done this before in here? I think we did it the day that most of you didn't come. We did it that day. So this is a Google slide, Google presentation, kind of like PowerPoint, right? And it looks a lot like PowerPoint. But one of the things that you can do is you can say, right? And I can say something like, everybody find me a picture of a famous computer person. That's probably a dumb example. And what I do is I just say, I'm going to make a whole bunch of slides and say, okay, you're going to be slide 2, you're going to be slide 3, you're going to be slide 4. And then everybody, I can watch them as they're doing their work, right? Finding a picture, that's pretty boring. But you could have people drawing a picture. You could have people creating a list. You could have people, maybe this is your planets right here. Right? And you get to watch all the work that happens. I can flip through to see, and I can even see it on these little tiny tabs right here, what everybody is doing. Right? So that's a little bit like what you're talking about, Samantha, but not quite exactly the same power because they have to be logged in. If they're on another screen, you won't see it. Cool. Yeah, we'll do an example of that. All right, but I do want to get back to our assignment. So our assignment for today is to add that sort of collaboration, that sort of communication to your websites. And there's a number of ways that we can do that. I've got a bunch of tools here. Basic communication tool, of course, is email. And we've talked in here before. Are we going to give our emails to our students?
For school emails.
Yeah, you want to make a special email for your students. You don't want to give them your main email. You want to create a special email for that. And you all know how to make Gmail accounts. It's all good. All right. So ways that we can do communication. We've all done discussion boards. We did that for our writing and different activities that we've done. I don't think we need to do that right now. You all are pretty good with discussion boards, right? Have you used chat much?
No.
All right. I'm afraid we're going to crash the website if we do that. Yeah, let's just try it here. There's this thing here where it says practice chat, right? And if you click on this, there's a chat. There's a chat room that's built into the computer. Right? And if you click on that, it sends a message like this. And everybody knows how chat works, right? Yeah. You say hi, and a message goes up like this. One of the amazing things about chat is chat is apparently just irresistible to be silly. And so that's good. It can be useful in some ways. I think the best use I've seen of it is in foreign language classes, where you have people type in a different language, and they can type anything they want as long as it's proper grammar in that language. And so they can take as much time as they need to form their sentences and things. So that's pretty useful. But it might be useful just for regular chatting. The problem is if you have a big group, it tends to go really fast. And so, even though you want to type something, by the time you actually type your sentence, there's 5 more things that are typing. So you can't have really great dialogue that way. I think a discussion board is better because it's sort of threaded and you can see who you're responding to. Right. So there's chat is a good thing. Oh, so this is built into the Moodle site. If you wanted to do a chat on your page, there's no chat built into Google Sites. But there are a number of tools that are available that are free that you can use. I just want to make sure I have one linked on here. Oh yeah, here we go. So there's one here, it's called Today's Meet. This is a really nice thing. Have you ever heard of the idea of a back channel? Anybody heard that phrase before? Yeah, what's a back channel?
Way to communicate with another group
Yeah,
without anybody else knowing.
Yeah, it's an alternate way to communicate, right? And so they're starting to do this at conferences a lot, and sometimes people use Twitter a lot for this. So what does it mean to say you're tweeting something? I'm at a conference and I'm tweeting. What is that? Yeah, so I'm posting like my favorite parts of what people are talking, and I'm posting it on Twitter. And how do y'all use Twitter? How many people use Twitter?
No.
Oh, what is Twitter? Sorry, I'm totally getting off topic now, but let's have the Twitter talk. Right? Twitter's dumb. It's not. There's nothing good about it, right? Complete waste of time. Oh, let's see here.
At least Facebook, you're close enough for your friends. Twitter, you're close enough.
So Twitter is good and bad. So this is my Twitter account. Something like that. So if you go to my homepage, it looks like this. Twitter is whatever you want it to be, right? If you want to post ridiculous things to your friends, then that's what it will be, and that's the same kind of stuff you'll get back. You tend to get the same kind of posts that you tweet. But if you want to tweet about, things that you're interested in, then you can find other people interested in that and get their tweets. Yeah.
How is this different from like Facebook?
So the difference between Twitter and Facebook is you're limited in your characters. You can only post a few hundred characters, and there's not a lot of extra stuff. You just have however many posts that you want to do, and you can read other people's posts, right? So that's essentially it. So you have a list of people that you follow, and that's what goes into this list here. Everybody I follow plus a couple of ads like this one are in here, and I just follow. I'm really strict about who I follow. I don't follow people who write about dumb things. I only follow people who are going to write about computers and education type stuff. And so I follow Tara Brown, and I follow the LA Makerspace and Code.org. And those are groups that are going to post their news. And so it allows me to get their news, and it's short, right? They get to the point really quick because they only have 140 characters. And so maybe there'll be a link that I want to see. So it says, hey, there's this cool new thing, check it out. And you can click on a link. So yeah, the ads are annoying. But, so some of these things are good. Oh, something about Minecraft and teachers, something about the LA School Report, find out what's going on in LAUSD, right? So they put all their headlines in there. So it's a good way to sort of keep up with the news, except that I hardly ever log in, so I don't keep up very well. But if I had time, it would be a good way to keep up. Because, excellent, thank you. I can always use extra followers. So if you have an account, it's CSUN Foley. Yeah. And it gives you recommendations of other people you should be following, which you can ignore or you can follow. Things like that. So if you want Twitter to be a serious thing, there's plenty of people being serious on Twitter, and you can get the news that you want. I find it a pretty useful way to get news. I stay totally away from Facebook because that's a complete time sink. But I think this is relatively less time.
So you just put over there on that side right there.
So you find somebody you're interested in. So like Class Dojo, anybody know what Class Dojo is? Class Dojo is this program that allows you to give your students credit when they're doing well and during class discussion, right? It gives you a list of your students and you're on your phone and you can say, oh, good job, or, well, that was a bad comment, and then it keeps track of how they do, and they get little points if they've done well. It's great for like elementary and middle school, just to keep them engaged in the class. It's a fun little, it's a fun little program, but it's, you know, you've got to buy it. Well, actually, I think it's free for, I don't know. Anyway, so if I wanted to follow them and get their news, I would just click follow, and then I'd get all the Class Dojo news would go into my feed, and it would just get sort of mixed in with everything else. As you can see, I look at this though, and I say, oh, they have 19,000 tweets. That's more tweets than I want to read. I don't want that many, so I'm not going to follow them. But it also tells you it's like followed by these other people, and I know Joshua Danish, and I know Lisa Kostner, and those are cool people, so maybe I want to follow this. If they're following it, maybe it's good. So you all get to see what your friends see, like that. And so like if I want, I would go to Joshua's website. He's a professor out in Indiana or someplace. And so he's pretty reasonable. He doesn't tweet too much. He's only got 600 followers like me. So, you know, he's got a few things. And he always writes interesting stuff, like, or he's retweeted somebody. This is Phil Bell up in Washington. All right. So people, you follow people you know and find out about what people you know are doing. All that good stuff. What's that?
I was reading his first.
Yeah, schools in Finland. I heard about this. So I don't know what it means though.
That's kind of interesting.
I try to keep.
See again, so you can find
educational
some
sites.
good news on Twitter. Some people use Twitter for classes. I know at least some of the master's courses, the students were live tweeting, which just means you're posting the key things onto the tweet, and you use something called a hashtag. What's a hashtag? Pound sign and some keyword.
Yeah.
Right? And the whole idea of a hashtag is that people who are interested in that thing will get all the messages about that. So, like when we got a grant the other day, see, I don't tweet very often, so I'll just look at my own tweets. Oh, look, that was at CSUN. Did anybody go to that when Linda Darling Hammond was here? All right. So right here, so there's Scratch. Scratch is a computer programming language you're going to learn about in a couple of weeks. And I always like to know what the Scratch team is doing. And there's this hashtag here, #Scratch. And that gives me all the Scratch news. So I can just go to that and say, oh, here's what all the people, and that's a way I can find new people that I haven't followed before. And I can say, oh, this person's doing something interesting. I'm going to follow them. All right. So that's how Twitter works. And so if you're live tweeting something, you'll have all you have to do is make up a hashtag. As long as everybody agrees on the hashtag, then everybody can follow all the comments about that thing. So like if you're going to Coachella, there'll be a #Coachella, right? And you can get all the information about Coachella and what everybody's saying about it, as long as they put that into their posts. Does that make sense? Some of you know this already and are totally bored with me. All right. That's,
Sorry,
and
I'm looking
yes,
at
yes.
Joe. I just saw a post. It's like one of those posts that's been reposted. That was like, how weird that they had a hashtag sign on old phones. And they like uploaded a picture of an old phone. I just thought it was. I almost died.
That is pretty funny. Hashtag. Cool. All right. So that's one way you can have kind of a chat, right? You could tweet about things with a hashtag. That becomes like a chat because everybody's going to see everything with that hashtag. So that's one way to do a chat. Another way to do a chat is this thing called Today's Meet. And I was about to start talking about this thing called a back channel. Sorry, I got way distracted. So a back channel is when somebody's talking, like I'm talking here, and you all want to like talk about what I'm saying, but you don't want to interrupt my conversation. You would set up a back channel. A back channel is something like this. So you would pick a name for your class, and you'd say like SED 514. And today, I love Today's Meet because everything is temporary. It's like, how long do you want to keep this open for? Let's keep this open for 1 hour, all right? And then everything will get deleted. All right, so then I say, oh, room names cannot have spaces, fine. I think I would know that. All right, so here it is. I have a back channel. And all you have to do is, you see the URL up here? Today's Meet /SED514. That's it. today'smeet.com/SED514. You give yourself a nickname, and you say join, and you can say All right. And you don't have to spell things correctly. Not the right. And so then you all can get on here and you can say things about, man, this teacher's really boring, or, you know, what was that website that he just mentioned? How do you get there? Something like that. And then you can have this sort of side conversation going at the same time someone's talking. It's kind of like people watch the Colbert Report. Remember, it wasn't that long ago, right? And they would do the word, right? So he would be talking, and then there'd be somebody talking on the side. That's your back channel, right? So somebody's making some snarky comments about what somebody else is saying.
So when we're like setting up like nickname, like you could put whatever. Like if you were doing this with students, is there a way to like make sure that they have to like, be
Not on
signed
this
in, or
they No,
they
there's
just
not.
do it anonymous?
Yeah, on the today's meet, it's so simple and easy to use that it doesn't have that.
Okay.
Right, but you could require everybody to have a real name, and everybody post, and you can check their names before.
Yeah, it says posted, let the video go by.
Yeah, so you can see what's going on. All right, it's no fun if the teacher's watching, so I'll have to turn this away so you can chat. Cool. Okay, so enough side things. So what we're talking about is we're going to put some of these into our website. So how would you put today's meet into your website? That one that I just showed you, the chat room called Today's Meet. So you'd set up a room, and you'd have it stay for more than an hour. You'd have to have it stay for like a month, right? Or a week or something, whatever makes sense for your class. And since you need to turn this into me and I'm behind on my grades, make it at least a month. And so then you just put a link to it in your class, right? And then you tell maybe some instructions about, hey, log into this, and we're gonna have a chat at so-and-so time, and so-and-so place.
Can it be embedded?
And then you would just put it into, embed the chat in your actual site? That's a good question. I don't know. Let's see if there's any instructions for embedding. Oh, by the way, if you sign into today's meet, you probably do have more tools. You may even be able to name your students or give them code. So let's see. Is there anything about?
Is there actually for this, or is this free?
This is free. As far as I know, I'm not sure what their plan is to make money. But as far as I can tell, it seems to be free. I don't know. Well, I mean, if someone, you could look for an embed. There might be an embed code somewhere. What's that?
This is embed, college rooms, better access, teacher tools.
Oh yeah. Teacher tools section. We gotta like that. Add access transcripts forever so that you can find out what people actually said. That's good. Access. Okay, so here's the answer to your question about access control. You can get a school site where you can mute students. Does it have anything about embedding here?
It's might have to sign up or sign
They
in.
have room tools at the bottom of the chat.
Yeah,
Oh, at the bottom of the chat?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Is there an embed code in it?
yeah, I just.
Oh. So where do we find
The
that?
little box on the
Just
left.
above.
Oh, room tools. Yeah.
And then embed down. It's
Embed. Okay, so here it is. So what you do, so this is how a lot of these things will work. If you want to embed something in your web page, it's going to give you some code. So it says copy this code. Have you tried it?
Yeah, you can't use that one. Where it says like WordPress and Moodle and all that, you have to go to other to get the like full.
Yeah. So you can embed it into a WordPress, a Moodle, Haiku is another website thing, and then other. An iframe. Let's see if this works. I'm kind of curious. All right. And there's a couple of different things you can do with iframe. So now I'm going to open up my my website. Where was my website? I think I had it last week. Yeah, there we are. Oh, that's no fair. What happened to my website?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just made this.
Oh, that's not mine. Oh, there we are. That's what it was. All right, so now if I want to embed this onto my Google site page, and there's several things that have similar kind of embedding that are kind of like this, and one of them is that Voki that I was going to show you. The way that it works, I'm going to go to my second page here, find some space. All right, so here we've got some movies embedded. So what I want to do is I want to embed this. So first I have to hit the edit page. And again, this is optional. If you don't want to bother with it, don't bother with it. But if you did want to embed something, what I want to embed is this thing called an iframe. Now, ideally, what I could do is I could go to the HTML and paste it, right? And I think this is not going to work, but I'll try it anyway, just in case. So I'm going to paste that code that it gave me, because it was HTML code, and say update. Let's see what it says. Oh, maybe that does work. It gives me a gadget called an iframe, and I say save. And there it is. That was easy. Cool. So did you see what I did to do that?
Yeah.
We went to, on today's meet, we went to the room tools. And we went to other. Thanks for that. And we copied the code that's here by clicking the copy button.
Where's the other?
Oh, WordPress, Moodle, Haiku, other. Do you see those? So first click on embed. Sorry.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. And then we copied that. And then we went to our website and we edited the page. And we edited, we went to this very last option on the edit over here where it says HTML. And that lets us then paste that text right into it. Yeah.
If you just paste the text there into that edit portion of the page, will it just be the text?
Yeah, so the text that you copy off of them. So they've created the text just for you, right? That fits your what do they call it, room.
No, what I mean is instead of putting it in this section here for HTML, and you go back and put it.
Oh, if you just paste it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll just come up as text.
Okay.
So I could do that. So if I paste it like that, that's all I'll get.
Okay.
Yeah. And I don't know if you so this is what we copied, but then when we went to look at the thing, Google has actually changed it. They added a whole bunch of other stuff. So they added all this code that didn't used to be. So it took the iframe and it expanded it and did something else with it because they're Google. Yeah.
So, but if we did it to our website, not to have a large, how would that?
You say that again? You will not have.
Like a chat open. Because like, this is not the same chat that I will put on my website.
Right. So you wouldn't want to put the My Chat on your website. You would want to make your own. Yes. So how would you make your own? So you'd go to the main page, and right up here at the top is the instructions for are you ready to get started. Now, if you wanted to use this a lot for real, I would recommend you sign up for an account. Do that, but for just a one-time thing, this is perfectly fine just to do these up here. You give your room a name, and you tell it how long you want it open, and that's it. It creates it for you. Yeah, you can have an empty room that could just be sitting there waiting for someone to talk in it.
So I went to edit and then I went to HTML and then I say paste now?
Right. So you want to find the spot where you want to paste it, which is not always so easy to you got to make sure you don't paste it inside of some other code.
Inside of some other code.
Yeah, I should bet. So one of the things I did when I pasted this,
You went to a special page.
I said edit, and the first thing I did is I added a bunch of space. Right? And I know, because I've done HTML before, what the space will look like. Then I click on HTML, and I see at the top of my page, there's all these lines. Right? So I'm going to put it in here and there. And I'm making sure I'm not going to break up any of those angle brackets. Because if I break them up, then it's going to get very confused.
Are you going to make sure that your web page actually come up? Because it doesn't go to them already.
that one.
That's weird. I'll have to fix it. Yeah. Cool. All right. So, so there's many things that are kind of like this today's meet where you can do some embedding code, and hopefully it'll all be this easy. If there's also a gadget called an iframe gadget that you can add, which you have to do sometimes. Some people were wondering about this guy right here. You remember see this? And if you click on him, he says, "Oh, there's no sound. What's wrong with my sound?"
Bless you.
I don't think it's on like the actual thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And then you click the other button.
little thing.
Which button?
Right next to it.
That one. Yeah.
It's all the way up.
Browser line.
Yeah, I'm not getting any sound at all. So it's got unplugged or something. All right. Well, it doesn't say anything very useful. What this is something called a Voki. Voki's are a lot of fun. You get to create a character, and then you just type some text, and it will read your text. Oh, there we go. It's working on yours. That's what it says. And it's just a nice little gadget that somebody has created. They can do lots of fun things with it. If you're interested in it, you go to the Voki website, which is this one, Voki.com, and you can create an account and create your own Voki, and it will give you a little embed code, which you then want to put into your website. I don't want to go through the steps on it because it's kind of long, but if anybody wants to do that, I'm happy to come and help you after you've got your Voki ready, and we can embed it into your Google site, into your Google page. Cool. It's a little trickier, I think, than the chat board was. Okay, so let's go back to what your assignment is. It's already after 5, so I've clearly talked too long. Also, there's things like doing polls. Oh, we need to learn how to make a survey. We haven't done that yet. That's the other thing we need. Real quickly, here are the parts to your page that you need to have. How many of these do we have done already?
7.
We've done the main page, we've done images, we've done links, we've done calendar. We have not done survey. We've done a presentation, right? That's either a slideshow or a video. We've done the web quest and the forum or discussion or quick write or chat. How are you going to do that? You could do the chat. You could set up a collaborative document. You could set up a quick write. What's a quick write? That's the collaborative spreadsheet where you have people answering. You put your names in the first column, and then you have questions in the others.
So if we did the today's meet.
Or the today's meet, that's a chat room.
Keep it open for like Google months.
Yeah, so that it's still there when I come to actually look at your site.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so we have to make that more.
Right. So then you've got almost all these things with the exception of the survey, and that's our last thing that we need to cover. Surveys are super fun. Okay, they're not super fun. They're kind of easy though. All right. So if I do that, and then I'm just going to kind of let you go to finish your page. And then we'll do that. All right. So what we need to do for the survey, is everybody ready to make a survey? All right. So go to Google Drive, and we can do a survey. And there's 2 kinds of surveys that we can do. You can do a survey where you're asking questions like, what's your favorite color? What kind of classes do you like? What kind of music do you listen to? That's like a survey. And then there's things like that have a right answer, like when was the War of 1812? That kind of thing. All right. So what should we work on? Should we do a survey, or more of a quiz? Okay. Well, we'll start with the survey. If you want to ask questions that have right or wrong answers, then at the end I can show you how you grade it, because it will automatically grade it for you. It's a little extra work, but the automatic grading, we like automatic grading, saves us work. Everything that saves us work is good. Okay, so what you do, of course, is you start with the new button. Do you all have the new button?
Yeah.
Or do you have the create button? Some people still have the create button. That's the old drive. Just means you haven't updated. So if you go to new, we don't see the one we want yet. Right now it shows us docs and sheets, which is a spreadsheet, and slides. You have to go down to more, right? And by the way, there's a ton of fun stuff on more, but we're going to get to it next week, I think. What you want to go to is Google Forms, which should be the first thing on the more page. right? What color is Google Forms? Green. What else is green? The Sheets is green also too, and there's a reason for that. They're connected to each other. All right. So did everybody get to Google Forms? Some people are still working on it. Yeah, we can go ahead and get started. So we're going to start. The first thing you want to start is you want to give your form a title, right? And that's up in the corner. You click in the corner and you say, okay. You don't have to say the same thing I'm saying. You can make a survey. Wow, every time I come on here, they've changed this slightly. All right, so we've got new things on here. Form settings. Oh, that's interesting. This is all new. They now can have you require people to log in before they post. All right, leave it to Google. They're always making new stuff. Always making my job hard. All right. So yeah, so interesting. There's brand new form settings as of like 2 days ago, the last time I made a form. All right, so the main thing is you start up here at the top where it says My Survey and Quiz. You don't actually have to keep it like that. You can say, take this quiz. All right, something like that. Or you can say, you know, anything like that. And then you have a place here where you can write a description. You don't have that?
I do. I'm not seeing that.
Okay, good. Google. Anybody else not with us yet? So go ahead and give your quiz a name and say something for the description, like, please fill this out.
Is that okay?
Sure, looks good. What is it on?
Weebly. It's super simple.
Okay. Yeah, it's very similar on Weebly. They have their own quiz tool. Okay. And then after you've got the description done, then you can start adding questions. There are several types of questions that you can add. Here's if you click where it says question type, you'll see you can do a text, a paragraph text. So text is really simple. That's like things like type your name. All right. So if you want the first one to be your name, you would say name, and you'd set the question type to text. If you want some help text, then you can do help text, which is like, you should know this. Maybe they don't need help. You might not need help with your name, but anyway. And when you're done with it, you go ahead and click done. Oh, what is this? Oh, that's new too. All kinds of new tools. Nice. All right. All right, and so then it sort of shows it to you. It's not a very fancy quiz at the moment. It doesn't have colors, and it doesn't have a good font and all that stuff. We'll do that later. Yep.
Question title, is that where you're actually putting the question?
Yes. Question title is where you put the text of the question. By the way, and if you want to change something about your question, you just click on the pencil. All right. So question title, that's typically you're asking the question, what is your name? You would say something like that. Bless you. All right. And then once you're done with that one, you can add more items, and you can see there's lots of items to add. Again, this is a small text. A paragraph text gives you a big chunk of space to write in. Multiple choice. What's a checkbox? Yeah, it lets people check more than one thing, right? If it's multiple choice, you can only pick one. If it's checkbox, you can pick more than one. Choose from a list is good if you have a very long list. And you can only check one. A scale question you might not be familiar with. That's where you want to score like on a 1 to 5 scale, 1 to 10 scale. You know, how much do you like this class? And then you have to decide what the ends are. Something like that. And then, of course, if you want it to be a required question, you can click the little required question box down there. What does that do if it's required?
They can't log into the answer.
Yeah, you won't be able to submit your answers until you've answered that question. So you want to do that if it's very important that they answer. Or if you want to make it optional, you leave that off. Okay. So go ahead and add a few questions here. The basic thing you can do is you just ask a bunch of questions and then you're done. If you want to get fancy, if you have a multiple choice question, you can set up a page break, and depending on which answer to a multiple choice question, you could go to a different page. So if you want people to skip certain questions, so if you answered no, I don't like this class, you skip all the questions about what they think is best about the class, and you just jump to what they hated about it or something like that. So you do have some options, but for now, just go ahead and make a simple questionnaire, something that you like there. Maybe I'll add one more question. You could. One of the relatively new things, you can put pictures and videos into your thing. They're not part of a question, but you can add them in and then ask questions about them. Yeah, tell it. Oh, down at the bottom where it says add item.
How can we make it so that the right answer?
Aha, that's gonna come a little bit later. We do that after.
Got it.
Yeah. So if you want to score it, right? Keep in mind there's certain kinds of questions you can score, and some kind of questions you can't. You can't score text. You can score a text question, but only if they type it exactly right. Right? It won't. Any variation in the typing, and they'll consider it wrong. Yeah. So you can score any kind of question you want, but sometimes the scoring is less useful. Yeah. Let's see. If I wanted to add a picture, what would it look like? Yeah. Oh, all right, good. Put Reggie Theosek there again. On this one, you actually can change the size, unlike on a Google site. All right, that's good. All right. Once you've got a few questions, we might need to do just a couple little things at the end. First of all, we want to change its theme, right? So just like with the websites and most other things, there's a theme to your survey. And one of the new things, there's a bunch of set themes that you can do. One of the relatively new things is you can actually customize a theme. So something like this, and again, it'll give you a font and font colors and a graphic that go all together with the theme. If you want to customize it, you can at the very, where is it? Oh yeah. So there's a button that says customize right under your theme, and then you can change things like the title and the description or some of the text, some of the fonts and things, you can change them. Cool. Or you can just pick a default theme. Cool. And if you've got a theme in PowerPoint and you really like it and you upload it to Google, you can then use that theme on Google Slides by doing the copy a theme option. Okay. All right. So the last thing we need to do, and let me know if I'm going too fast. If we're okay. Are we good on the themes? The last thing we need to do is figure out where the responses are going to go. Right. So the next tab up here, so it's edit questions, change theme, and view responses. If you click view responses, it takes you to a spreadsheet. And what have they already put in your spreadsheet? They got your questions, right? The first thing they did is they put the first column. They put this thing called timestamp. That's going to be the exact time that everybody hits the submit button, and then they're going to put the answers to each of your questions. So they've made a column for each question, name, all the other thing, like that. So this is where the information is going to go when you're done. And you'll notice it's called the name of your survey, and then put the word responses at the end of it. Right? So that's a spreadsheet that's going to go connected to your form. So when people fill out your form, the answers go into your spreadsheet. Cool. I don't know where Weebly puts this. I have no idea.
We're checking out.
It's got its own thing. Okay. Cool. And you can always go back. And by the way, if you're on the spreadsheet, you can go to the form menu and say, I want to edit my form, or I want to go to the live form. And so you can go back and forth between the spreadsheet and the form. Okay. All right. So now you're pretty much ready to go. Only thing is you need to give the form to people. And what are you going to give them? The URL, right? You're going to have a link to it. Do we want to link this page? Do we want to link the spreadsheet? No, we want to link the actual, what they call the live form. And this is a big mistake a lot of people make, is they'll copy this link and they'll say, that's my quiz. It looks just like my quiz. No, you want to go to the live form. That's this last button here. All right, and this is the live form. This is the one that you can actually fill out. If you give the people the link to the other one, they can edit your quiz, but they can't actually. Ah, yes. So right here, you see these tabs along here. So edit questions, change things, change theme, sorry, view responses, and then view live form is your last option. So you got to make sure you go to the live form, and that's where you can see your theme and everything, and it's ready to go. And you can just start filling it out right here. All right, so this is me. I would just type something in here, and you can just try out your own form like this and click submit, and you've done it, and you've submitted your form. Where did that information go?
Your spreadsheet.
Spreadsheet. Let's look at the spreadsheet. There it is. It's right there. At this timestamp, someone named Brian entered this information like there. And with the multiple choice ones, it puts all the answers they wrote with commas there. Yeah. Question.
Can you embed the form into one of the web pages?
Absolutely. Great question. All right. Before I show how to embed, are we good on setting up the form? Right. And then we'll do the embedding, and then we'll come back and do the grading on the quiz. All right. So this information is here, and you're live. As soon as you've done this, you're ready to go. You can go back and you can change questions even after people have answered. There's no rule about that. It does sometimes get a little bit confused when you've added new columns, or if you delete columns and there's already data there, it'll get a little confused. Yeah.
Is there like a save button?
No, there's no save on any of this. It just saves because you're in the cloud, right? So we don't have any save buttons on these. Remember, on Google Sites, it does have a save. That's the only place there is.
Where did you put that? How did you insert the name in your
Insert the name.
Like, what did you
The one from the live.
Oh, on my survey?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that should be it.
We go back here. Oh. Okay, so I have a question. My first question is name, right? And so I added that, and that was if I go back to edit questions, you can see my very first one. It's just a text box, a text type question. Exactly. Oh, by the way, did I mention that you can move your questions around? If you just click and drag them, you can reorder them. Of course, you can delete them. You can also copy a question. If you have a lot of questions that are kind of the same, just use the duplicate button there. And so you can do that.
You have to add the numbers yourself, right? It doesn't.
Yeah, if you want to number your questions, you do. There's a new feature. I was just reading about this moments ago. You can shuffle question order. If you want the people to have different question order than the person next to them, you can change the order around, which is really nice. That's a feature people have been asking for a while, so I'm glad they put that in. By the way, the very last thing people see is after they submit it, it says, basically, thank you for filling out this form. If you want to edit that, that's at the very bottom. They call that the confirmation page. So you can change this. The default is your response has been recorded, but you can say, thank you. You'll see the results in class, something like that. And if you want to, you can show people what the results are, what other people have said. Sometimes you don't want to do that if it's private. That's nice. How is this different than just having them answer questions on a quick write? Yeah, they don't see each other's responses, right? So this is actually good for a quiz because you want them to do their own work, right? Or if it's something that they don't necessarily want to share, you're asking them personal information or something like that, that's good. Then you want to do it on a form. Or if you want something to make sure that they don't skip anything and they don't get confused, sometimes with younger kids, it's good to use the form because it's a little simpler as opposed to filling in parts of a spreadsheet that's a little complicated. Cool. All right. Oh, that's where we had a spreadsheet and we put all our names on the first column. We asked questions. I can show you. There's a link to it on the class page too. Okay, so what we wanted to do is we wanted to then take this survey and we wanted to give it to our students. So we want to take, we can copy the link to the live page, right? So I can copy my URL. And then of course, if I go to my website, I flip back to my website, I can edit my page and I can say, here is the survey. How do I turn that to a link?
Oh, highlight it and then put the little chain.
Exactly. Highlight it, hit the link, go to web pages and say paste. So that creates a link to the survey. And then of course they don't have to type in that long thing. But the question was, well, can we embed the survey? Right? That might be even better. You want to embed it right into your page. So for that, I'm actually going to create a new page. How do I make a new page on here again? Page, create page button. Yep, exactly. Survey. Maybe I'll put it under. Oh, I want to put it at the same level as page 2. So I'm going to have to say choose a different location and put it right under home. Okay, good.
Wait, so it's gonna put it on the home then?
It puts it under the home.
Under the-
So it's linked to the home page.
Yeah, you see it right there on the right hand side.
Yeah, so I got my home page here and then my survey page is underneath it or indented from it. Does that make sense? Okay, so I want to embed this page and so everybody probably knows the answer to how to do this already. I have to go to where? Insert menu. And I go over to the far right where it says Google and I go down to Drive. And right here we have forms. So that's what I want to do is insert the form. And it gives me a list of all my forms with the new one at the top, nicely enough. I'm going way too fast. That's fine. Okay, so you're on a page.
Okay, so now I'm gonna say put it under my home and say create.
Cool.
Now it's.
So it's creating a new page and you're already in edit mode.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And you can go to the insert menu.
What if I do this in my stuff that are on my home page? I don't get it.
That's on a different page. No, you're on this new page. Just me.
But I thought it was gonna be under my home page.
So under in the sense of on the list of pages.
Ah.
Yeah, that kind of under. Okay, and again, we go to Drive and we go to Form.
You hit send form while you're editing the survey.
Yeah, I did.
The send form button is on the page right.
I don't know.
Oh, that's the email.
Insert.
Well, it's hidden.
I literally did that.
So we go back to your tab and your form.
Just to remember, like,
Cool.
So,
All right, so did you find your form? Yeah. All right. I'm gonna finish my thing here. When you go to insert your form, it gives you options about height and width. So the width, you can just leave it blank, and it will be the whole screen, right? Or the whole width of your screen. The height is interesting. If you make the height too small, it'll add a second scroll bar to it. So I'm gonna do that intentionally. It looks a little funky. So I'm gonna say save so I can see it. Okay, so now I've got a scroll bar on my page, right? And then I've also got a scroll bar on my quiz, on my survey. That's kind of annoying. All I need to do to fix that is make sure I make a long enough gadget that fits the whole survey, and then I won't need two scroll bars. And so to do that, I just go to edit, and I click on this, and I click on the gear, and I say, I want my height to be 2,000. It doesn't really matter if you're too long. Nobody cares. And you'll notice now I've got a real long box here. And then when I say save, I no longer have to have a scroll bar on here because it fits the whole thing. And then there's a lot extra. Yeah. Yeah, the gear? No, that's not the gear. We're on the box here. Change your height. If you make it bigger, then you won't have to have that scroll bar. Okay, so questions about embedding our surveys? How are we doing on this?
Well, it does matter, but you have to play with it to figure it out. Now you're gonna scroll down, so you made it so big, and you're gonna have to scroll down.
Yeah.
So you can find it. Did you add,
Yeah. A little bit
you add
longer.
any questions?
Yeah, well, yeah.
So this will be,
Yo pienso que más que nada para comunicarse con los papás, ¿no? Como para que sepan, esto es lo que tengo que buscarse, ahí está, para que no venga el sitio y no me diga, o me diga tarea cuando
You don't have this scroll.
Cause mine.
But that's what you were doing by changing that number.
Every page. And this is like something that you can really use that for to see, like, if I wanted to go to the person and then what their like language background is.
but you might be interested in like what's the percent.
Ellos lo estaban viendo por
Spreadsheet.
Yeah, there's like,
Like,
there's
it's an
take two, so I mean, the one that's in the place I really want.
like, so it's an
There's
option.
also like subordinate duties.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like Google.
Which I'm thinking about just behind the meeting. And I noticed this one doing it, so I can send like my link.
So that one, I don't see that.
Are you gonna save this one and just use this one?
Here.
Yeah.
I'll probably update it.
So just
More yellow.
We'll forget the URL.
I don't know, how did he show you how to do it? Wasn't it here?
Que no pueden ver todo.
You'll read it.
Okay.
It comes
So
up.
use
Just do one.
Oh, there. All right, now.
Make it like 1,000.
here, but it's never.
You gotta delete
Yeah.
save up in the corner. Almost there.
You can add it.
Exactly.
You can do 1,100 or 1,200 if you want.
Over here. It's okay, all right.
¿Y por qué no te quedas con otra?
I don't want this right there. This. Short.
So it's just yes.
I've been working on this for like the past hour, trying to get this to look right.
Okay, so you want to make it wrong.
No, now I'm just out. Look, you didn't do the, like, what are the names? No, I have Shakespeare, but I like the Shakespeare review. They're like, I literally bought a poster of this. To avoid using the word Harry. Because it's lazy. I mean, it's not too clear and tired. It's very sad. It was invented for one voice to believe in that endeavor. And then there's also this one that we do not need law, business, engineering, these are necessary skills, poetry, romance, love, well, that technically is not his Well, I was like teaching college, right, drug edits. Well, look at some of the greatest artists.
Yeah. Everything you use now.
And also I make my students.
Well,
it's not like what I make them do. Yeah.
So you go to the here, you get the so you do this. Yeah, you might want to put a comment on it. Right, so what we did is, and we're ready to fix it into your website. We'll do that, the basically here, we'll do some good things.
I need to talk to my teachers. My website's pretty much done. Do you want to put it up now today?
Sure, just take a quick look here. I'll show you how we turn this all in.
Oh, yeah.
So there's the 3 steps to turning it in. You're gonna turn it into, first you fill out the survey with your email, and then you wait for an invitation, which I will do in a few minutes, but you can do that later. And you're gonna paste it onto this website. And then the final thing is you're gonna turn it in right here.
Okay, I said it was due this. Yeah. Okay, so it's.
But you're done.
Right.
So it's all good. Yeah, so just go ahead and turn it in. Even if you, I'm not gonna look at it right away, so if you edit it tomorrow,
Oh, yeah.
it's fine.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, so but the main thing is to understand how this works. Sometimes you do with some students, if you have computers, all you gotta do is you have it put it. You can ask any question you want.
Yeah.
Immediately you get the full response and the full question. So it wasn't so much that I wanted you to do it, as well as to see how.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then how do we do this?
So there's 3 parts. Publish your site.
Oh, right there. Okay.
I'll go over that in just a minute. Okay, we're just about finishing this up. I still want to go over how you grade the quizzes, but before I do that, I want to go over the turning it in part, because not everybody's going to do the quiz grading, and that's fine. All right, so it's a little complicated. You're going to turn it in 2 ways. I always like to make you turn things in twice. And of course, we want to demonstrate how you can do these different things. The first thing I want you to do is you're going to fill out a survey, right? And the survey is really short. So right at the bottom of this week, you have the section here called Publish Your Site. And this first part there, it says, fill out my survey. Bless you. And the survey is very short. Couldn't get much shorter than that, right? So you put your name in. All right, and go ahead and say submit it. And since you know how these surveys are formed, you're like, oh, that only took him 5 minutes. That was super easy. Cool. So what happens to this?
I'm
Right?
sorry, did you do it again?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, what happened?
Do we submit?
What was the?
So, yeah, you can submit it now, and you can keep editing it. That's fine. You're just giving me the URL, and the URL will not change, even though you're finishing up working on your site. So it's fine to turn that in now.
So where's the name? Sorry.
All right.
It's right there. in
So
step one.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna go right here where it says publish your site. Right. We're back on the class webpage. Step 1, fill out my survey. Everybody see that right here?
Yes.
Okay. That much you can handle. All right. Once you fill that out, I am gonna get your email address. And what am I gonna do with it? I am gonna then invite you to edit a private website. The private website is this one right here. And if you click on that now, you will not get to see it. Because you do not have access to that website. It's a private site. I have access. Here's what it looks like. Right? And as you can see, it's got all kinds of cool stuff on it, but it's also got a page for every 514 class in the last, I don't know, since 2009. All right, so what we'll do here is we're going to add a new page. And we're going to call it, wait, what were we supposed to call it? Oh, yeah. Fall. Wait, we're in spring. All right, so let's call it spring 2015. Again. That's it. And then I say create. Okay, so I've created a page, and let's take a look at what the other pages look like. So let's take a look at, say, fall or fall of 2014. That was last semester. All right, and as you can see, what I have here is all the students and their pages. And if you're interested in looking at their pages, all these links should be live. So we can go to Joe's site, and we can see he's got all this cool stuff. So he did his with with Google Sites. If you had a Weebly site, you could also see a Weebly site here. You're just going to paste a link to whatever your site is, right? So here you can see all of last fall's students and their websites. All right, so we're going to do the same thing, all right? And I'm going to have you do it. But in order for you to edit this site, I have to share it with you, right? Because sites, like everything else, can be shared in a group way. So I have asked for your email address here. And so I'm going to go to edit this form, and then I'm going to go to where it says view responses. Has anybody filled this out yet?
Yeah.
Excellent. Cool. So I will be able to see all your stuff right here at this. So here I have 325. That's today. And we've got everybody's name. And we've got all their emails. And so all I have to do is copy all these emails here. And I go to my website. So this is a quick way I can share things with you. And I click shared. And you can, I don't know if you saw that. It said shared with 250 people. There's a lot of people that have access to this website. If I keep going, maybe I'll set the record. All right. And I just paste all of your emails right here when it says invite people. And so you're going to get a little invitation email that says, oh, David, you typed your email wrong. Yeah, you got a comma in there.
That's the email that we've been using for this whole class this whole time.
Good. That's a good thing.
Whatever email you would log
What-
in with. to-
David Angelos 929. Is that right?
Yeah, I just put it.
Is it dot?
Yeah, it's dot.
Oh, it was a comma.
The one that I use.
That's why I didn't like it. All right. I'm gonna copy all those again. Oh, and Brian got his in there just in the nick of time.
Okay.
All right, let's try that again. Oh, I guess I could just edit it here. All right, so now you should all get an email saying you have access to the site. You don't really need the email for anything, but you get an email anyway. All you have to do then is now you can click on this link, and now when you click on it, you will have access to the site. All right? Did anybody request access? That's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. You got it now. All right. So what happens if you go to a website that you don't have access to? There's a button that says, "Would you like to request access?" And that's fine. So that just sends an email to whoever owns the site saying this person would like to be on your site. What?
I found your fish.
My fish, yes, there's fish on there, indeed, and there's lots of websites you can see. All right, so who's going to be first to put their link on the page? Let's see. Spring 2015. Is anybody up there yet?
Where do you, I just signed in, but where do you put it?
This is where we're going to put it. So it says Spring 2015.
Is it the
In
comment?
the comments?
Nope. You're going to edit it because you have editing privileges on the site, and you're going to go ahead and put.
Because you're already editing.
Aha.
Break the law.
So here's the thing. So if you try and edit it right now, it's not going to let you. Unlike Google Documents, only one person can edit a page at a time. So this is going to be a little tricky. We can't all do it at the same time. So when I go to add my page, where's my page?
Break the law. Just break law.
Then you edit the page and all my edits go away. All right, so I click save. Did anyone break my lock? Let's see. Aha, no one broke my lock. So if you had broken my lock, your edits would be there and mine would be disappear into the Ethernet.
How do you do that?
So it's just a web page and you're just gonna edit it with the edit button.
Oh.
And I pasted and put my name and made a link. So it's a little test. I'm creating a little test to make sure you all can make a link on somebody else's web page. I'm sure you can handle it. If you have questions, you know where to go. Is that the only place you're turning in this website? No. One more place that you're turning it in is the obvious place, because I do need to give you a grade. So I had to put in one of these little placeholders for a grade. So click on website assignment. All you have to do is just paste your URL there. Super easy. And that just puts it in there so I can grade them real easy. But the main thing, so 3 steps: fill out the survey, then edit the website, we'll put your link on it, and then put your URL in the assignment below. I'm not going to grade these for a couple of weeks, so you've got a couple of weeks to get this all finished up, and then I'll give you a score based on the rubric. What's the rubric? It's not exactly a rubric, right? It's these 8 parts, right? You've got to have all these 8 parts plus. You can get extra 10 points if you do really nice looking site where you have interesting stuff on it. I always like to have that little bonus points for people that go an extra mile. Cool. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So all you need to do is make sure you've got all those 8 things and make sure it's easy enough to find, that it's not hidden in some far page that I might not look at. Make sure it's obvious, relatively obvious. Yeah.
Oh, I still don't feel like it's.
Oh, okay. Have you put your thing on?
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, I haven't done that yet either.
All right.
And that's the information off the survey?
Yes. Right, so that's how the survey works. It goes right in there and I can do that immediately and then use that data. So Samantha, you should be okay now.
I did the survey.
Still updating the page? What's going on with your computer? Here, hit that. Try to do Okay, so
You just did. I did the survey part.
I did the survey part.
Put that email, I sent it to you, sure.
Yeah, we did a step 2.
Images.
invitation is in your email, you click on that site.
And like as you're updating.
Is that the email you put in?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm having a
Find it?
big problem.
Yeah, I think you put a different email, so you gotta make sure you put the same email in.
Alright, so go back.
Yeah,
You did?
yeah, I did the same thing.
Let me see it.
It's still saying that I'm not.
Oh, sorry,
Try it
I just didn't get, oh,
Yeah, I did it before.
where were you in there before? I didn't get you before, but I've got you now.
Yeah, I mean, I have it above, it should have come through, but you'll find out.
Let's try it again.
Mine's also not. Email look right.
That's what my problem is.
Let's see,
The first one.
did I just miss you at the top?
Long way.
Maybe I did. Oh yeah, you're way up there. You know what? I probably just didn't copy those two. That's probably operator error.
We were too on top of it.
You got in there before I did.
Eight
In parts?
8 parts.
Yes.
Like for the calendar, they do it, it's get off of.
Sure. Did you see how we did the calendars? Where we created a Google Calendar?
Your website.
Oh, that's no fun. Alright. So try to do a refresh. Yeah. Oh, did you refill out the survey with that email?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Wait until.
Until everyone else is out.
So he's editing right now.
Right.
Yeah, see, your demo website, it says it's not found.
Yeah. Okay, try again. I think it's good.
Try and see who's editing. Refresh.
Well, here's a little editing and I will. Yeah,
I'm editing, but it's not letting me get out.
Okay, so, yeah, what was that one? It was called,
WordPress.
I mean, I can write it down.
yeah, it's called SED 514. And all you have to do is just type it out after the word site. There.
It's not letting me.
Break your lock.
Don't break any of those.
Oh, yeah.
Because then they
You
do
can
it.
do the website address. There you go. Now paste it there. Okay. Everybody makes that mistake. And you save. That's somebody else's turn.
Thank you.
But you have to wait until they do it. That's where you do yours. You put in
This So can they play it? Is there something for now? How's about the rest?
That's fine. Now type your name. It's somebody else in
Cuando
the
vas a tu
class. It's
website,
gonna all be like
te
that.
no te llegó el te llegó el email. So vas ahí.
But delete it, please.
What are you trying to get into?
Oh, Carl.
You're trying to access Google and Yahoo.com.
Or use one of these.
I'm out.
After that, again, you might have to log out of Yahoo.
I'm like that, yeah. I'm logging into that.
So why is it saying Yahoo?
Because my Google, it's weird. My Google Mail is actually
So, but you have two accounts, and they're both plugged in at the same time?
I'm logged out and logged on this.
I don't think it logs you out. Yeah, so maybe go to like your drive and just do log out, just log out of that, and log out of the other one, and then make sure, and then log in again, try it.
Okay, so this is your home page then?
Yes, that's what I'm marking here, yes. Cool. All right, so go to the
So
county.
once you choose here, you go to the computer. And then you
This
go
is
to
a Google
edit, and
Calendar.
then you're gonna go to insert, and then you're
Oh,
gonna
okay.
So what we did is we had to first make a calendar on Google Calendars. And that one is,
Yeah, there's a link to it on
Yeah.
Well, how did it
here.
So you open
This is Google Calendar. And again, you gotta log into Google and then you can make, like, you have your main calendar, but you can make a separate calendar for school. Share that one with your students.
So it's
They
like
can see when things do.
okay, so like
forget about you, yeah.
like a calendar.
Because I have my name, like,
So if you log in, I'll show you how to make a video.
I don't remember my
Okay.
login.
All right. Well, I'll show you online. So if you go up here, these little dots here, take you to all the Google parts. So this is the Google Calendar page. You ever use Google Calendar?
No,
Okay, it's really easy.
my
to work
wife
with.
uses it all the time.
Yeah.
So
You just like, say I've got to do something tomorrow at 1. I click right here and say go somewhere, and I
Okay.
tell it which calendar to put it on. Right. So you can have lots of different calendars. Like each one is like a different color. Right.
okay,
So what you want to do is you go to my calendar, you say, create a new calendar, so I can create one for my students, and then I just share the students one, so they don't need to know that I gotta go to the doctor, but they can find out, oh, there's a test tomorrow, right? So you keep
Okay.
everything kind of in different categories,
okay.
and that's pretty much it. So you make your calendar here on this page, and then you can embed it into your website. Oops, not that one, this one. So right here, you can't do any editing from here, but you can just look at it.
And on the on the calendar, I can just go instead of having
See, there, have that thing I just put.
I can change it to where it doesn't just say 5, 6, 7. On this day, this is what we're gonna do in class. This
Yeah.
is the assignments.
So
that
you
we
can
do.
go on the month view or the agenda view, and it'll show you like things that are coming up.
Oh, the month view. There you go. So if I just do one that's month,
Uh-huh.
and then
Yeah, you can
Put
set
that-
it. You can tell it how you want it to start. It just like everything else, it becomes like a gadget. So
okay,
you
so
go-
it doesn't. You don't care if it's on the day
No, yeah,
or
either
the
way,
month.
it's
Okay.
fine. Yeah. If you go to edit and you click on this little geary thing, you get all these
I was
options.
basically gonna do it. It's like, oh, this is the World War II
Yeah,
unit.
yeah. So you can
And
do like.
here's all the information that you use for this unit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank
Cool.
you.
Cool. So how much have you gotten done? Are you able to? You haven't even started. the
I
page
haven't.
yet?
I haven't started the page yet. I've done pages before, and one of my neighbors down the way, one of my really good friends, is a web designer.
Well, the hard part is just coming up with a name and mistaking.
Okay.
So that's like the main thing. Yeah.
I have a question. So once I'm here, all you go to a date page, and
Yeah.
then you just insert your link right
Well,
here.
first put your name in. And you
Where?
have to, like, you see the list? Just
Uh-huh.
add to
So
that
you have
list.
to add your name right here.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're saying to highlight that?
And then,
Highlight it,
what?
Yeah.
And then
click the link,
what
or
then?
insert link,
Oh, insert
either way,
link.
either way.
Oh, insert link. And then,
And then click web page, web address, and then do a paste your URL.
from my, okay.
Exactly.
Thank you very
I
much.
did it wrong, so I just pasted it, I did it wrong. So I don't paste it.
Okay, let me write this down and then I'll do it.
I think someone broke your lock.
No.
I saw some other stuff.
Write your name.
Yeah.
Broke my
What
lock.
happens when you say save?
I say,
Yeah, the other thing was we're gonna grade our quizzes, but if you don't wanna do that, you don't have to.
Okay, so if they broke my lock, what do I say? I say no.
Yeah, I would
I
say
really
no.
like him. You know that he's an art teacher?
Okay, so now. do I
Yeah,
say
yeah.
delete that?
So-
But he's going to like create a school with my teacher.
Yeah.
He was over to
Do a refresh.
Because tiene como
Alright, and it looks like they, are you done?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Did
sorry.
you do the link?
Not
Because
yet.
people are waiting for that page.
I already.
Cannot
Go-
get
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
I'm fine.
So you need to copy
I will-
the original link?
Not yet, but I'm not done with my website.
Oh,
I'm
it's
not-
okay, you don't have to be finished.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
yours isn't a link either.
it was, someone did something.
Someone added a page.
Oh, interesting. Alright,
I go to this now, that's my.
yeah. Well,
Uh-oh.
one step before that,
Write your name.
cancel that.
Highlight.
Highlight your name.
Oh, highlight.
Highlight your
And
name.
then do that. You click web address.
Okay.
your name,
Paste.
then
I
insert
gotta
the.
go back here though. There's a trillion of these, but I gotta know where I'm at.
Yeah,
And there I'm at.
Okay, so this is the one that we're supposed to copy, right? This is where I'm at here.
Yes.
Like I'm done, just copy. And which one is it?
Oh, no. You don't need to turn that in. You're gonna put that on your website somewhere?
We
Are
said
you
we're,
gonna
we
embed
said,
it?
we said we're gonna submit it twice.
Oh, no, not that. Sorry, your whole page. Not your survey, your whole page.
Oh, is it okay?
Website. Yes.
Where?
Then say save.
Oh.
Okay, Matt, you can go ahead.
I heard of that, that's why I'm getting
Website.
I shared on website.
Hey, what's his name? This is
Do you wanna try in 2 places?
We just talked to you.
I'm trying
But
to.
why is mine blue and
Sorry,
theirs
so
black?
I can't log
Because they
in.
didn't link theirs yet.
I can link this to your
So
website.
how do I know now that it works?
Oh,
Like,
this,
You just copy the
Huh?
website. You just
oh,
copy it.
like this one, the
It works.
surface, like that?
I get to see my
Oh, you
side.
That's
go to
right,
the-
everybody can see your site now.
Then you go to here.
All right. How we doing? Who needs a hand with something?
It would be easier to edit, like to add our URL like later when people are trying to do it, yeah. Like I might do it like at an odd hour, so
Yeah.
right now, exactly. So it's not up there.
Yeah, so we want to get these done in like a week or so. This is the end of our website project.
Are you ever confused about my name, by the way? Because I have 2 last names right now, right? So like with the school, it's one, but I changed it. So like my website and stuff. You're pretty certain. And the school is Anderson. Alright, I'm in my like name limbo right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Pretty cool.
I got page happy and I didn't
Wow, excellent. Cool. Well, those aren't hard to do. So just go to your page. Usually I get a lot of contact. Then go up here.
Bless you. Bless you, I can see.
That's good, right? That's it. Yeah. So you're referencing it, you give it full credit. So what do you okay. I'm waiting for over here.
Mine's the same.
Things that we need to say here.
So wait, you just put in this. What is the URL?
You don't make the URL.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and you're logged in with your CISO. So this is something when you're in an organization like the CISO, if you try to share things outside of it, use this. Nothing actually happens, it's fine.
Oh.
Yes. Nope. Yeah, it's especially for like if you have kids, and a lot of schools have rules that say you're not allowed to share things outside the school. My daughter's school says that. Of course they can, but they don't realize it because they're mostly good kids.
Is it supposed to take a while for this to like download or save? Because it's been doing this for like a minute now.
No, what's happening is that you're entering it here, that doesn't work here, you click there, and paste it there, yeah.
Sorry,
That's all right, that's all right, you're like the third person to do that, so.
sorry. And you said not to do that, sorry.
That's okay. That's how we learn.
And I can't even get into that page. I've
This
been
is
trying
part of
to do a link, but I get a failure note.
Failure notice, huh?
It says I couldn't get in. Like, because I said, like, I have a
It gives me
Yahoo
all this.
account as my.
And okay, did you try logging out?
I tried, but because the only way I can log into is with the thing that you send me to, even though I log out and then put in my
CSUN one. But CSUN, you can't do the website.
Exactly, that's why, because I only have a link to my Yahoo account.
How many browsers do you have? Okay, you need another browser.
Wait,
So what do you have?
like
You have
Safari, yeah.
Oh, you got Chrome and Safari, so you got two already.
Yeah.
All right, so open up
And
one,
Firefox.
use Safari for one, use Chrome for the other one, and only log in with one account on each browser. Right, and then it'll be fine, it won't get confused. Right, and then you can copy and paste things from like Safari to Chrome. It should be okay. That's what I do, because I have multiple accounts. I just make sure I've got my Chrome account, I've got my Firefox account, and I never mix them up.
You're saying I have to make a new account?
No. I'm just
To
saying,
open the Excel, I wanna
use,
open that.
so log out on, what are you using now?
Now this is Chrome.
So log in on one on Chrome and the other account on Safari. So it signs you in, right? And which one is that? Which account?
For the Yahoo.
Okay, so do Yahoo on Chrome.
No, I have Yahoo on Safari.
Okay, so then do CSUN on Chrome.
I created my chat, today's meet, a new one, the other one died. And this one's supposed to live for a month, but you need to sign in so you'll be able to chat. So you can click on the link, it will take you here, and you can just add a nickname and chat away. But, when it's on my side, you can just click and chat.
Yeah, because it's embedded, you can actually add, that's
You
what,
can't
true of
chat
a
here.
lot of embedded things.
You can chat here.
I don't think so. I think it's gonna take you to the today's site.
Is that enough? It'll live for a month.
How do we make correct?
Yes, let's do the correct answers on the quiz.
Yeah, it's doing.
Okay, where did I have that? So did any new one? Oh, Pete's got added. Pete here before I forget. We'll do that. Okay, so what I want you to do, if you want to do the correct answers, go ahead and pull up your quiz again. All right. Oh, my chat, the back share channel is gone. All right. So I'm up here. I made a quiz. So I go to my drive, and it's got my new quiz and my responses. So go to the one where it says responses. Okay. So if you go into your drive, if you're on your quiz, you can go to say view responses, that tab at the top. And so you're pulling up that spreadsheet.
Okay.
Close some of these tabs here. Okay, so this should have your questions at the top and a timestamp, right? And so then you're ready to do what we call Flubaroo. I know, it sounds funny, huh? It's actually not technically part of Google. Somebody created it for Google. It's an add-on. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the menu here that says add-ons. So this is just something extra that we can add to our spreadsheet, or to our form, actually. And I've already got Flubaroo on mine. You probably don't have Flubaroo on yours because you haven't added it. So what you have to do is you have to go to where it says Get Add-ons, right? So you say Get Add-ons, and there are a lot of add-ons, and some of them are really cool. Flubaroo is one of the most popular ones that's out there. Gmath is a nice graphing tool. Doctopus is a cool way to give Google Docs to your students. You can make a list of students and it copies the doc for everybody. It's very cool. But Flubaroo is very popular. Flubaroo helps you grade Google Forms. And so what you're going to do is you're going to click here. What does it say? Does it say add or something like that? Yeah, so go to your survey. Where's the survey? This one.
The actual, that one?
Yeah, and then you go to add-ons. Say get add-ons.
So the first one just to.
Where is Flubrue? Cool. All right, and it says free at the top. So click on where it says free. So mine says manage because I already installed it, but yours should say free. Go ahead and click on it. It will say, do you want to give Flubrue access to all your stuff? You go ahead and say, yes, I do. I know it sounds scary, but it's actually going to be fine.
Is that the only one?
No,
Is that the only one that does this?
it's the most popular one. It was the first one also.
It was the only one I knew of.
All right, so then once you've got Flubrue in, you should then be able to close this. Feel free to play with other add-ons, and you should see Flubrue as a menu choice under add-ons. Do you see that one? You get Flubrue there?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and start with enable Flubrue for this sheet. Is that one of the options you got?
No, it says.
You got a different Flubrue than me. That's
I
no
do.
fair.
I do.
How come you have different options? I'm disappointed.
Because we already enabled it.
Oh, did you already enable it? Okay, good.
Well, probably when we added.
Yeah. That's probably, you're probably right. All right, so I'm gonna say enable. You probably have already done it. And so it says working, and it says Flubrue was updated. Oh, I need to say yes again. All right, fine. Okay. All right, so now I have Flubrue and I have lots of options there. And I have grade assignment as one of my choices. So that's the first thing that we do is we say grade the assignment. And so I just go ahead and say grade, and it's working, and so it's doing something. Yeah, I should have known this. It says there are not enough submissions to grade the assignment. The key for grading the assignment is you have to have at least one submission, which is the teacher's answers. And then you have to have at least one that's student's answers. And I only have one answer, so I cannot do my grade assignment yet. So I have to fill out my own form again. So I'm going to go to form, go to live form, and fill it out one more time.
If you give it to us, we can all fill it out.
Drew, do you want to do that?
Should I give it a different?
Nah, we'll just do it for now. All right. All right. So I've submitted a second time on my own form. All right. Hopefully not getting all the answers right the second time. All right. And then, so do you all have 2 entries into your spreadsheet? Okay. When you have 2, yes. Question.
I just sent
Send form is for emailing the form to like a list of people, right? What you want to do is fill it out and click submit at the bottom. Oh, but you're probably on the edit page. You want to go to the live form. Do you see at the top where it says live form? No, that's not it. So, that's the one you can fill out.
You couldn't find it?
No.
So do one that's the teacher answers and one that's the student answers.
Yeah, wait, how did you get to Flubrue? Because mine's not showing up.
Oh.
So you went to your add-ons for it, right?
But you got to be on the form. So go to view responses. Oh, you have to make a name first.
Wait, okay, I exited out of mine. Okay, so I should make like a new one if I wanted to or whatever.
Oh, you want to make a new one real quick?
Well, I just mean like, because the last one didn't have, like, there's
survey.
no right or wrong.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, just make one with like 2 questions
Right.
and give it a name, and then go to the spreadsheet that goes with it, the responses page. All right, and the way Flubrue works, it just takes a few steps. You go to Flubrue and say grade assignment, and it's going to come up with our questions, and it wants to know how to deal with our questions. So it says name, and it's just making a guess that is a student identifier, which it is. That makes sense. If it wasn't, I could click on this and change it to something else, and you can see you can give it certain points, or you can just say skip. So this one, how much do you like this class? I think that's worth 5 points. They better say the right answer. And the other ones will all be worth 1. And the last one, I'll make that also worth a point. So I can change what it's guessing what it thinks each of those things is. Doesn't always guess correctly. And so you can identify how many points for each question, or skip if you want to skip a question. And then you just click continue, and that's pretty much it. Oh no, one more step, sorry. And you have to tell it which one is the teacher, right? So I'm gonna pick the teacher one, and you click OK, and then it's grading the assignment. And it gives you a happy little apple, and it does all kinds of things to your spreadsheet. What does it do? Grading complete. Yeah. So I'm going to close this. So what has happened, it's added a second tab at the bottom. So the first tab was the submissions page. The second tab says grades. And that's what it's showing here. It says this person named student got 1 point out of a possible 8. So they got 12% on this test. And you can see they submitted it one time, and they got one question right and got the other ones all wrong. And so you can see it gives me the totals per question. This question has 100% correct. The other questions all have 0. So you can see if you had a whole bunch of students, it would immediately give you some really useful information. It grades it, each one individually. It gives you totals per question and totals per student. And it does it very fast. It has one other really nice feature. So this is great for grading multiple choice assignments. And if you want to, you can give this to students as like a quiz. And if you want them to see their responses, like if they're studying for a quiz and this is like a practice, right? That's a really useful thing. What you can do is you go to Fluber and you say, I want to email their grades to them. And you can actually set it up to automatically email. What you have to do is you have to add a question that says, tell us your email. And then if you have that, then they can be emailed, they can get their grades in their email as soon as they finish. And they can get feedback on how well they're doing on their practice quiz.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there a way you could get templates that are already filled out? For example, question 1, answer is C question. And then you will get to decide what questions to assign. So you tell the class, for example, 1 is so-and-so, 2 is so-and-so, you just write the question. And then they get to choose A, B, C, or D on it. You know where I'm going with that?
No, I'm not kind of sure.
Well, if I want to create one test, it takes me about 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I'll put in probably 20 questions, 30 questions, and the kids will do it in about 10 minutes.
Any answers?
So it's good, but it's not
Would show up.
time efficient.
No, I know.
So I'm thinking if there is one where it says, question 1,
You mean like a bank of questions?
like a bank of questions or like a template that's already filled up, you just give it to them. There's no question, there's number of questions, like question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4, question 5. And then you give them another sheet with what 1 is, 2 is, 3 is, 4 is, and you can use it over and over. There's no question on it, there's just a number. Like
Yeah,
this
you could do
Cantron,
that.
it's the reverse, to use it with.
Like this one I did it right.
Yeah, I've seen that.
No, but I wanted to know how you use
I'm
it.
not sure why that's better though still.
Because you have the form done with 50 questions. And then you as a teacher, once you know what the answer is, you'll do it once, and then Fluber can just execute.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't have to prepare the test every time. You do it one time.
Would they remember if that happened with all that?
No, because the questions are different. 1 is what's the distance between Earth and what or whatever. 2 is different. You know, when I like create it and it's there.
I'm not convinced you said that.
Okay, so I set it up, I did it, ran the grades, and
Yeah.
then I did another submission on the thing to see if it would automatically update, and it
Yes.
doesn't.
It doesn't automatically update, but there is regrade assignment.
Regrade assignment.
Yeah.
Okay. This one was your existing grade, yeah.
Can't the form do the tracking?
Did that work? Oh, you need to go through those steps.
They're all set. Since you've already done it, I don't care about that. Okay, so. Well, let me do it. Yeah, it's got a lot. What are you trying to say? I'm trying to go to the view live form.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Oh, now there's something called advanced on here now too, which is interesting. Enable auto grade. What is that? No idea. Oh, yeah. So okay. So if you want it to, if you want them to be able to get their emails overnight, stuff, you can set it to automatically grade them as it comes in. But it sounds like you have to set it up. Oh yeah. So you have to tell it which is your email. Yeah.
Yeah, those would be great options under.
Oh, no. Well, what if it's things that are
Yeah,
wrong?
so if it's wrong, it gives you 0, if it's right, it gives you a couple.
Just kidding.
Okay. Making sure.
It doesn't do anything.
What is my
So what is it? Right?
So now.
So where should we?
See if it'll let you do that.
Hey, see that? So where you go, right, if you want to, you can. So go back to your site. So new page, so cancel that. So new page is this one. Oh, is that it?
Like it.
Oh, fish. Yeah, is it a fish one? It's not working.
I guess it just like knew from my answers when I submitted it. That was
Yeah,
like,
that's the answer.
Okay, that's what I wasn't sure about.
Oh, I see. You had red fish over red back. That's what it was. Okay, your background. That was it. The fish were also there. I was going to see that. Okay, so what do you want to make a big page? Right. So.
That's not good.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
That's it.
I didn't say good job.
Great. Now we want to do our quiz. So we want to do that thing.
So do you need to have a quiz? Was it-
Not this one.
I think it was the quiz or
Google
survey
thing.
or whatever. Either or, yeah.
Go to the right. Where is it?
Some order.
You could put this way.
Bye.
Choice about how big you want this box.
Have a good week and.
And I recommend putting it with that, giving a link. Full screen. And then maybe a little longer. And that way it will have enough space for it. So now we've got our gadget there, so go ahead and say save. Can't commit tomorrow. Did you come last Thursday? We haven't. Oh, yeah. Thursdays have been very busy. Okay. Have there been any snow? Okay, if you don't, you can fast forward, so you don't have to watch the whole time. What part do you not like about?
I do have a leak. They'll be in a few minutes, but we ended early. So.
Are we gonna be here?
You guys are already done? Look at you all. Yeah, so we're gonna be in here, but we're gonna just work on stats until 7:45.
Those of you who are working on stuff, can work on other stuff.
Yeah, we can go drink.
Yeah.
I need to work on stuff.
As much fun as that'll be, we're gonna do this. But like, so what's your vision? For this? Do you want, what do you want to look up? Okay, all right, well, take a look at some of the other people's, and see if somebody has something, some design that you like better. Sure.
I have to always to work. I did the email thingy now. What do I do? How do I send it though?
Oh, okay, cool.
So I did this coming right from her name camera. I did my email.
Cool. All right, so here are your choices. Good. List of questions, so include the answer key. You want to include it?
So tell them what they should have had.
Yeah, it's like if they have anything wrong, tell them what the right answer was. And then you can, if you want to, you can write a message.
What does this need?
So it includes the questions
and theirs.
theirs.
Okay. All right, I don't know.
Okay, so go ahead and take a peek. There's something where there's like a quota. Let's see a certain number. One grade was successful emails. One grade was also not safe. The only email address that's okay. There you go.
It'll go to my email. Okay.
Then you check your email and see what it looks like.
That's how you should do.
All right.
Yeah, it's a cool tool, this thing.
You didn't tell us how to submit it the second way. Is it by sharing?
Oh.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, the second way is the most familiar way.
Just share.
No. It's this one where you go to a website assignment and you just paste your URL. So this one, everything with the little hand on it, that's an assignment. That's just a placeholder.
Yeah,
So I
just send it this way too.
No, that just lets me, that'll send it to me, but that's not one of the ways. But you're welcome to.
Can I ask one last
And I'll upload it.
You may ask many more questions. There's no quota.
But I want to just ask you one thing else before I leave. About the format I'm thinking of doing.
Okay, well, let me help first, because hers looks quick, and then.
Sure.
I just want to be able to change my art talk to, like you said, to be there for a while so you can view it on the site.
Okay.
Because I only have it for one day right now.
Okay.
I only made it one day. We'll go back.
Let's see. You're on Rumbles, I don't see it here for that.
Teacher Hawk gave us.
Yeah, I think you have to make a new one.
Enjoy it.
You make our copy.
Really fun.
Just click up here, and I'll take you back to the page.
You just have to spend some time on it to get all the concepts.
All right.
I don't think there's another way to do that. Okay,
What time does your other class start?
7:15 technically, we'll start drifting in here. Sounds like their early classes already ended.
So my suggestion is, and correct me if I'm wrong, when you create the questionnaire, you create the form and Google, to create just 1, 2, 3, 4, without filling any of the questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you will put it somewhere.
Oh, yeah. For me, it is.
1 with options A, B, C, D.
It's
2
definitely
with
a lot
options
easier.
A, B, C, D. 3 with options A, B, C, D.
Right.
You do it one time with 100 questions,
I don't know.
and you keep it. And you change the theme
but they
every
have a
time.
lot
Now,
more
when you
people.
send it to students to do it,
And it's a lot easier.
you send it to them, but also on a different sheet, you type the question.
Right.
So question 1 is blah, blah, blah. Question 2 is abracadabra. Question 3 is ABC. So they look at question 3, they look at 3 on the form, and they select A or B or C.
Right.
And
But
you would have the key as
still
a
have
teacher.
You still have had to create a form with all the questions.
But you do it one time, and then you send it to them every time. But it only has the numbers and the ABCD.
No, I think I get what you're saying. In fact, I think we have something like that.
We do, that's what I'm looking for. Do we have like
Let's see.
200 questions?
I didn't make it, but I know where it is. Let's see.
Yeah, that would be good. It would work with me because
I'm not sure where this is, but I think there's a link on here somewhere.
I went crazy once on the final. I did 100 questions. They finished it in 10 minutes. Took me the whole night.
No, you know what? I know where I have a link to this. On a talk we gave a talk, and I think I have a link to this thing that's very similar to what you're talking about. It might not be exactly the same thing.
Yeah,
But they were using it because there's a limit on the number of people that can get onto a quick rate. And they were in a lecture hall with like 200 people, and you couldn't fit 200 people on a quick rate. So they did this as an alternative to a quick rate. So it was a little different motivation than what you're saying. Where was it? A ton of links on here. You might recognize some of this stuff from my talk on Monday.
It looks familiar.
Yeah, I borrowed a bunch of slides from here. Okay, I'm not seeing it. Oh, it's one of these things. It's a long talk. Oh yeah. Those look like eggs. Where is it? No, it's observations. All right, it's not on this one. What other topic did I have that was like this? No, it's none of these.
It's okay. I mean, when you come across it, I'm not trying to have it. I'm having a ball anyway in the class.
Not these things. That was a little survey form. Yeah, I'm not seeing it on here. This is all his stuff. Day reflections.
Never mind.
Yeah,
If it comes across,
yeah, I'm gonna find it. I'll find it eventually. I've got the link
fine.
somewhere.
Thank you for trying.
Yeah. That's one of the problems, these things. It's linked somewhere in my Google universe.
I know. I understand totally. When you move the spreadsheet, will the form be able to find it and submit into it?
When you move the spreadsheet, like where?
I mean, it creates it on the root, like right there on the drive. Let's say you have your drive organized by folders and you want
Oh,
to
you
go-
move it to a new folder. It should still,
It should still find it.
because it's got a unique ID, so it can find it.
I want to try doing that. Sorry, one more time.
Sure, no problem.
Is it under assignment 4, the website, or today's upload?
No, website assignment?
Yeah, where do I apply, where do I submit the link? So,
Website assignment?
the link, the
Yeah,
website we just did.
It's called website assignment. Scroll down a little bit.
No.
There. Scroll back up.
This one.
I just replaced it with this one.
Okay. You placed, what did you replace?
I took off our
Oh,
top one and I put our
That's
top
just,
two.
that's your new room. Yes. Excellent. Cool.
But like, okay, for these right, so this is a different page, this is a different page, right? But then these are on this page.
So this is just an organization page, so it does it sort of like folders. So like home page is a page, but it's also a folder, there's 2 pages inside it.
And then this is.
And that's a separate folder, but also there.
Okay, we have 3 pages.
Oh, yeah, so you need to do your web quest.
Yeah.
So that'll be.
And to do that, I'm just gonna go to the site, I'm gonna click on that, and it's gonna tell me how to do that. Yeah.
No, but if you watch the recording, speaking of recordings, are you still recording? We are. Bonus. I'm gonna stop.